pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Roll call. All right. Trustee Woodward?
Here.
Trustee Listman?
Here.
Trustee Foundas?
Here.
Trustee Schrader?
Here.
President Humphries?
Here.
Trustee Boylan?
Present.
And excused are Trustee Plassmeyer, School Representative Weed, and Council Representative Dolge.
So, statement of public notice.
This meeting was noticed in accordance with the open meeting law on June 12th, 2026.
Excellent. Public comment? Don't see any members of the public here or online. All right, moving on to the consent agenda. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes from our last meeting on May 19th, 2026, and the May 2026 financials?
I move to approve the minutes and financials.
Thank you, Carrie. Second. Thank you. Any questions on the financials or the minutes?
All right.
Go for it. We missed you.
I'm back.
We missed you last month.
We missed you.
All right. On page 7,
Yes.
it's about midway down. It has telephone. And I saw that the telephone charges.
Highlighted.
So do I. Is this due to the new phone system or is this something?
Nope, this has to do with, as a department head, I automatically get either a phone stipend or a city cell phone. So that's $40 a month, one way or the other.
Okay.
So that was budgeted for.
Okay.
However, when I came on and realized how much Sam and Jane use their phones for work, I requested that they also get a stipend for their phones. So Sam, being basically the assistant director without the title, has another $40 a month. And then Jane gets $20 a month for her, everything she does through her phone managing her team. So that's where you'll see that increase from.
Okay.
So we will be over this year, but as you'll see here, we have allocated appropriately for it for next year.
Okay.
Yes.
I was curious.
Of course.
It
This-
went so high, so fast.
I was just, yep, and her and I, we actually didn't realize what budget line that was coming out of. So her and I last month were like, why are we running out of money in telephone? What telephone do we have in the library? So we learned something new.
It's secretly ringing off the
I
hook,
know.
right?
We did learn that we have a cell phone at the circulation desk for when the phones go down. So we
That's
discovered
good
that.
to know.
Good to know.
And then my next one was on page 11.
Okay.
And I think that this might have to do with what you have in your report,
Possibly.
where it has the J.M. Brennan Incorporated at the bottom,
Mm-hmm.
boiler repair and belts.
So oddly enough, no, it does
Oh.
not. That's a prior
I
thing.
had the same question.
Yes, that's a prior thing. So a few different things went into that cost, and Ann and I checked with Clayton to make sure all of it was appropriately allocated, but
Okay.
he was not necessarily clear on what. So like one of them was replaced a strobing bay scanner. Now don't ask me what the bay scanner is, but part of that was for that, and then he ordered belts for preventative maintenance because our boilers are getting up there. That's why they're on the Capitol a little ways
Right.
down the road. So there was belts purchased for preventative maintenance. And then, so we have two boilers. So if one goes out on us, the other one can kind of pick up the slack while the first one gets repaired. Well, boiler 2 apparently melted a UV scanner and the wiring attached to it. So that's actually the bulk of that fee that you see there, is getting that fixed and replaced. But absolutely none of that has to do with the building AC and all of that stuff that's been going on. So
Okay. That's all for me.
all right. Anybody else got anything?
It's kind of a silly question.
Yeah.
On page 7, why is health highlighted in blue?
Oh, when I'm running the report, it will highlight wherever my cursor was or something, and then it just sticks to the report. Like it's very, it's a PDF that I run, but for whatever reason where that cursor is, so there's nothing important about it.
I mean, health is important, but yeah, no special reason.
I'm curious about why on page 7 also, you have all those things listed with zeros. Does that mean you didn't spend them or?
So all of those, so the budget goes back obviously decades and decades. And there's old obsolete budget lines, but they're still in there, so that's what those are. They'll never, unless we randomly decide to start using them and price things out, they're just obsolete, but they're in there as part of the report.
Okay.
Good questions. Yes.
Very small question.
Mhm.
I noticed that we've almost maxed out our budget on electronic materials and it's only June.
Which page are we on?
Page 7.
Oh, we're still on page 7. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Page 7, under
5719.
electronic materials.
Yes.
We've used 92% of the budget.
So the reason that is because last year when Hoopla went away, one of the ways that we were able to keep the budget so flat was we didn't reallocate that money. We didn't keep any of it for any extra spending. So majority of the electronics budget is going towards the Bridges Advantage, which is part of our contract with them. And that gets paid out early in the year. So that's why you see a huge chunk of it already gone. What's left is the little bit that we have remaining for odds and ends electronics expenditures.
Thank you.
Of course.
Any other questions? All right, all those in favor of approving the consent agenda, the minutes from last month and the May 2046 financials, please say aye.
Aye.
All those against? Motion passes. Thank you. President's report. I have nothing to report. However, I thought I texted you and I don't think I did. Are you interested in serving on the strategic planning committee again, Karen?
Yes.
Thank you. That's gonna be an upcoming motion I'm going to make.
I was going to say that it used to always be that the president was on personnel and the vice president was on strategic planning. I don't know if it was just.
I think that's just how it shook out with Gail
Okay.
here and me.
Okay.
Yeah. But yes, it was like that.
Anyway,
A side comment, we did lose Timothy. I don't know if he did it on purpose or if he'll join us again. We're still good for a quorum, but if you ask him questions, he's not going to answer right now.
Okay.
I'm not sure, it might have been during rehearsal, he might have hit a button or something, but he is able to join back in if he realizes.
Sure.
okay.
Okay. So that's it for my president's report. Moving on to the director's report.
All right, so I've changed it up this month because Kristen pointed out last month that I was in the habit of, you had this report, which is kind of a conglomeration of everything I gather from my staff, and then I kind of, the last week, keep a list of things that are coming up last minute or things and share that with you verbally.
Mhm.
And I kind of like the point, I don't know if you purposely made it or not, but following along here so you guys, it's all in front of you for the most part, unless it's really last minute stuff. So I'm kind of going to go through this and point out some things and then give my own verbal report for you. So you can let me know which one you prefer. So under reference update, one of the things Sam included was jammin'. We had a great time. The weather turned out perfect for it, which we were very lucky for. We registered 250 people at that event for summer reading. As of today at noon, we had over 1,500 people registered for summer reading. Yes. Yes, last year we capped out at just over 2,100, so we're on track to beat that this year. So that was our big thing for reference. For children's update, we had our first presenter yesterday. I saw Carrie and Timothy there with their kiddos, which was awesome. We have our prizes out, which include bubble torches and a drone and, Timothy is back. Allowed to talk just in case. There we go. And a marshmallow chair, a squishmallow chair. I'm sorry, not a marshmallow, squishmallow. Very important difference, which seems to be the big prize that a lot of kids are excited about. And then next week, we have Cattail Critters coming, which I am personally very excited about. And we will have a tortoise, a giant continental rabbit, a cobby, and an armadillo attending the library program. So I highly suggest you stop by. They should be adorable.
Sounds big.
I know, a couple of those will probably be rather impressive. Young adult update. May was a little bit quiet for young adult. She takes a break from any type of passive or active programming because she is the one who's doing all the marketing prep for summer. She makes all the calendars, a lot of the signs, everything. So she gets her teen program set up plus all of that. But she has her teen programs up and running for June already. Last week was a Shikaku puzzle in the teen area. This week Sudoku, next week Sudoku, and they are very fun. Circulation wise, there's two things that I actually brought examples of. So one of the things is we have added an air tame, or not an air tame, I'm sorry, an air fly. This is an air tame. An air fly. So one of the things we did right at the end of last year was we started circulating Bluetooth CD players with the idea that our CD books and CDs, they're dying slowly, but not so slowly that we think people aren't using them. And it's more so like you just don't have a CD player at home or in your car. So we bought those and we're seeing how that affects circulation. The other thing, they are, I saw two go out today alone. I was like, oh, so exciting. So the other thing Sam discovered are these air flies. So now not only cars aren't being made with CD players, they're also not being made with the aux port for you to plug like an MP3 player into. So this can plug into a playaway and turn it into a Bluetooth item, or into your car and turn it into a Bluetooth, or into your, basically anything that has the aux port, it can turn it into a Bluetooth device. So we're gonna start circulating these. We have 2 of them currently to see how they go. But that is one thing we have added. And those live on the shelf by the CD cases as well. And then the other thing, it's kind of going to be at the circulation desk, which is why I'm mentioning it now. But our friends group is funding something that New Berlin Public Library actually started. They have a gumball machine, but it doesn't have gumballs in it. It has little reading buddies in it. So every month we will change out the little reading buddy that kids can come and pay $0.25 and get their little reading friend. And we're starting with dinosaurs because the theme is Unearth a Story with Dinosaurs. So there will be a little blue gumball machine that kids can buy. We will be putting signage on it that says choking hazard and not suggested for children under 3 per the toy description. And every month it'll ideally change which little reading buddy kids can get, and that'll be a little fundraiser for the friends.
So what do they do with it? Is it something
It's just
they
a
play
fun,
with, or
it's just a fun little trinket for them, and the idea is to encourage them to read with it.
could you put it on a bracelet or a necklace?
Not this one specifically. I'm sure some of the things we get could, or like a keychain.
Sure.
These ones specifically are just cute little dinosaurs. But yeah, the idea is that they'll possibly collect them, but get excited about reading with them.
Like the girls could have on a bracelet.
Make a growing bracelet
or
of
on a
it.
necklace.
Yeah.
Are they all the same color?
Nope. They're different types of dinosaurs and different colors too.
That's good.
So you might need to put in a few quarters to get
Yes, if you want every single one or a specific one, you might need to try a little hard. But that'll be a fundraiser then for the friends as well. Did you have a
I
question?
have a quick question
Yeah.
about the white device that you held up for
Yes.
the vehicle. What is it called again?
It's an air fly.
An airfly.
Yes.
And can you remind me how we're using those to support literacy?
So-
Is it for audiobooks that are
Yes.
CD format only?
These ones are for audiobooks that are playaway format. So we put a lot of money into playaways. They're expensive. But now, because cars don't have the aux cord, you need to have something that you
Got
can
it.
listen to it through. So,
Got it.
Yep.
So I have a question though.
Yeah.
I have a 10-year-old car.
Yeah.
Would it support that, do you think, with that?
if you have an aux port in there,
Yeah,
yes.
see, I wouldn't know, because I have a CD player.
Oh, well, then yeah, you can do CDs. But yes,
But not for playing.
if your 10-year-old car either has Bluetooth capability, which at 10 years it might, then you can plug that into the playaway. and it'll work.
Okay, I'll have to see it.
Yeah, but whatever device you're trying to connect to has to have that Bluetooth capability for it. So you could do it with earbuds, if you have Bluetooth earbuds.
And most vehicles and devices are all switching to USB-C.
Right.
So is that USB-C?
No,
I
so-
couldn't see it.
So this is the aux one. So this gets plugged into the playaway, which turns the playaway into Bluetooth. So if your car is Bluetooth capable, that's how you would connect it.
Gotcha.
Right, so like if you have a Bluetooth speaker
Mm-hmm.
and you doesn't have anything to plug a cord into, you could use that.
Yep.
And it could make it that your device can.
Or headphones if you want the audiobook, but it's a 50-week wait on Libby, but we have it in the house. You could grab this and the playaway, plug it in, and listen to it on your Bluetooth headphones while you're messing around at the house or something. Yeah.
We're gonna need classes on.
Yeah,
The old
yeah.
folks now.
I was like, what is an AirFly?
Yes. And
I've never
the
heard of
funny
it.
thing is, Sam actually reached out to Playaway, to the company. I was like, do you have a brand you suggest for this? And they're like, we didn't even know this was a thing. So she actually informed them that there was such a device for their devices.
Well, and I just heard they're bringing the CDs back because a lot of people don't stream and use their
Yep.
iPhones. So
Yeah.
a lot of
I love
people want
CDs.
the.
Yep, the CD players, they're getting a lot of use. It's very obvious that people
Yeah.
don't mind using CDs at all. So, yes. All right, and then other updates. Garden Walk is happening on the 27th. If you're free to attend, we've sold a lot of raffle tickets. Not so many of the event itself tickets, but I've been told that's normal. People tend to wait week of and see what the weather. Yep. So we're not worried about it.
Just to warn you, it's probably gonna rain that day.
It's too far out. You
It's a
can't know that.
tradition. It's a
Yeah,
tradition.
that's right.
But you know what? Even with the rain, the people show up
Yeah.
and they have a great time.
Oh,
Yeah.
good. Okay. I'm looking forward to it. I plan to be attending the whole day, or helping the whole day. Pipe burst. So, the exact same pipe that burst in December in the children's program room burst again. This is the one that is for an outdoor spigot that is supposed to have an all-weather thing on it that you're not supposed to worry about
And we
it.
didn't have freezing weather.
We didn't have freezing weather. What happened was this go round, Clayton had left it shut off, even with the repair. He'd left it shut off for the winter in case something else happened. Well, they were going to use the spigot outside, so he turned it on. Thankfully, he did not leave the room because the repair basically gave almost immediately. So he is in contact with the company that did the repair to make sure they come out and fix it, ideally at no cost, because
Right,
it didn't
yeah.
even stand up to one use. So,
Yeah.
so yeah, he is handling that at the moment. But yes, that
He
was.
has a hand up, I think.
Oh, Timothy, do you have?
Yes,
Yes.
I didn't quite hear, but is there a warranty that's associated with this, or was it being looked into?
He's looking into it right now. Yep. This happened on Wednesday. Very fresh news. But yes,
Thank
he's
you.
looking into it. Of course. Let's see. The hearing loop came in late last week, so Clayton and Jake were looking for a day. They need like the whole day to repair it, because they have to take up all the carpeting around the edge and lay it down properly, connect it properly, all that stuff. So we're finding a day that they can come in and take over meeting room 4, but that will be getting fixed this summer.
How does a hearing loop work?
So a hearing loop works with someone who has an assisted hearing device. Newer devices, it connects automatically, but it creates like basically almost a magnetic field that amplifies the sound in the room. Ours is specifically through our microphone system. So if someone walks in there with their hearing device, they're not going to hear everything. It has to go through the microphone. So for a presenter, if someone comes in and has hearing aids, they're going to hear that coming straight into their ears, rather than trying to hear it over all the din and their hearing aids picking up everybody else talking and everything. So
How does the volume level work with that?
that's on them. That's on their hearing aids. That's
so they
not
have
on.
it preset.
Yes,
for
that's not
themselves.
on the loop itself. Yep.
Wow.
Yes, and thankfully Clayton and Jake were willing to do the repair. They're saving us over $1,000 doing the install and repair themselves rather than paying a company too. Yeah.
That's very nice.
Yes. Yes. Very grateful for them. Next little bit has some beautiful pictures to it. Jake, as part of our action plan for this year, was to investigate our our Wi-Fi strength, not usage, strength, and download, upload speeds, all that stuff. So he has this nifty new software called NetSpot, and this is just from his very first walk around the building with it. But it basically shows like a heat map of our signal strength in our building. So dark blue is the worst, and then as you hit those yellows and reds, that's better. Green is okay. Green is solid. So it's based off that, it's pretty easy to see what areas are well covered and which ones are not. He is going to be doing this multiple times over the next few months at different times of day during programming to see if the weight of people using it is affecting it and how. And what we're hoping to glean from this is, do we need like boosters in certain areas? Do we need to be looking at a higher speed? What all we might need to do to improve that?
So I had one question.
Yes, of course.
Is this based on people using it? Like, I noticed, like, it looks like we're in the staff, I think that I'm looking at it right.
Yes.
This is like the staff area,
Correct,
right?
you got it, yep.
So it looks dark blue.
Mhm.
Is that because the staff members weren't at their desks using it? And so it wasn't in use, and that's why it's dark? Or-
Not necessarily, that is possible. So he has strongest signal level, which is that one, is the story time room, public meeting room 4, and the staff conference room. So those yellow areas, because that is where I know the name for them, but I can't think of, I'm calling them boosters, but it's not boosters. It's where the signal's coming from. So those spaces are going to be the best, which is also kind of odd because meeting room 4 is one of the ones we get the most complaints about for that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, the dark blue, it's not necessarily that people weren't there using it. It's just that's the speed that he was recording at or the strength that he was recording.
I have another question.
Yeah, of course.
So many people have a phone on them
Mhm.
that might be letting out Wi-Fi signal.
Yep.
So if this was like, for example, a children's story time,
Mhm.
and there are a lot of people with their phones in their pocket, would that increase that?
It would not, because he actually links it to the specific signals that he wants to. So he is
Okay.
only tracking the public and the staff Wi-Fi for these, which is why he was able to make a set of maps for the public and a set of maps for the staff.
Okay,
Yes,
Okay,
good question.
I have a question too.
Yeah.
Could you tell me what positions Clayton and Jake have at
Oh,
the
sure.
city?
Yes, of course. I know I throw their names out and then
It's like,
I'm so sorry.
who are they?
Clayton is our maintenance guy for the entire city. He's a crew of one and he dedicates a lot of time to the library, which we are very grateful for. And then Jake is one of technically 4 IT people. So Barb is the head of the department, and then Jake is assigned to us at the library, and then there's another IT person assigned to the police department. But yeah, Jake is ours, and much like Clayton, he dedicates a lot of time helping the library.
Thank you.
Of course. Any other questions?
What was wrong with the computers that got sent out?
Yes.
Or
They
you
were.
gonna talk about that?
Nope, I mean, even if I was, you of course can ask a question. They were literally just shutting off in the middle of use for no reason. At first we thought it was maybe people are trying to download something or going to a specific or a website or internet browser, but there was no pattern to why they were shutting down. They were just randomly shutting off in the middle of people using them, which is not great because we had a couple very kind patrons who lost a lot of work because they hadn't saved it. They were just working. So we got it narrowed down through tracking which ones were the repeat offenders and sent them off to, they actually ended up going all the way to Taiwan. And I was a little worried they wouldn't make it back before summer, but they did. And what it ended up being was part of the memory core was going bad. And the thought was because all of these were bought at the same time, they were probably made in a batch and it was a bad batch. So they were covered under warranty, which is good. And we haven't had any, knock on wood, issues with them since. -1, but for a completely unrelated problem, and Jake is working on that. So yeah, we're back up to pretty much full strength now, which is nice.
I'm just curious, did the warranty cover shipping to and from Taiwan?
That's a great question. I don't know if warranty did or if maybe the IT department did, but I will find out.
I was just
Because I haven't been
surprised
billed for it.
Yeah, I haven't seen a bill
in
yet.
the United States that could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at the.
It went to California first because that's where they were like the vendor is. But they couldn't fix them, so then they shipped them out to the manufacturer basically, which is based in Taiwan. So it did technically start by going somewhere in the US. But yeah, we have not seen a bill for shipping, so I kind of assumed that it was, but we will obviously double check that. Good question.
It's not a burning question within my heart, but it was more of a, really, all the way to Taiwan?
Right?
Yeah.
That's a long way, yeah.
Yeah. And, do you have a question?
Yes,
Of course.
and on page 20, part D, where you have the grants and outside funding updates.
Yes.
I was curious, are those money amounts, are those supposed to be on page 6? Page 6 has a line item for grant money.
So that line item, it only gets applied once we've spent the money. So for
Okay.
some of these, so like there's, obviously it's not broken out, but like the $450 for June Cleaver is in there. Part of the Library Innovation Improvement Grant is in there, but we haven't bought the sound mitigation tech yet.
Okay,
So yes, some of that money's there, but you won't see the whole amount until we've actually spent it.
okay.
So,
I was just
Oh.
curious
Yeah.
because it had 0 for grants and then
Oh,
over
for
here.
the
it has
revenues, we are getting reimbursed for the revenues. Once we have all of the receipts, we'll submit them to
Yes.
Bridges.
Okay,
oh,
That's-
thank you.
That's, yeah,
Thank
you.
that's why it looks weird, but
Okay.
it balances, it's a 0.
okay.
I mean, it zeroes out.
Good
Right,
question.
I know it's zeros, but I just
Yeah.
thought, cause
Why
we
is it here
usually-
and not there?
Yeah, cause that way we can say, oh, look at how much money we've been able to get in grant money for the year.
Yep, yeah, as Anne correctly stated, we just haven't been reimbursed for some of that spending, and then some of that spending hasn't happened. So,
Okay,
for example, the Library and Innovation Grant is obviously one of the bigger ones we've gotten so far. That one you probably won't see for a bit because we have to send all the stuff together. And the sound mitigation, we are still working out, we're making absolutely certain it's gonna work before we spend the like $2,000 that it is. Otherwise, we'll ask Bridges if we can transfer that for a different project. So that one will be a little bit, but yeah, good
okay.
question. All right, and then I just have a couple extra notes that didn't make it in time to get into this. The county approved the minimums to exempt update that you guys all voted on and discussed, the 2027 ones. So that is official for 2027. The system voted to sunset Udemy, so that was the online training portal. By the end of 2026, we did the math at the directors meeting on Friday, and it was like over $35,000 a year for a couple hundred people to be using it. And a lot of that, after talking to directors, it was like, well, yeah, it's our staff. It's not patrons, it's our staff. So much like Hoopla, it is being sunsetted. On the bright side, that money is going towards the individual libraries. So our cafe charges are going down from what they were going to be. We were going to see, I think it was almost a 7% increase on cafe charges, and now I think it's like a 1% increase. So it's a good thing overall. We have told you that. In Vega, which is our discovery catalog, we have a new patron assist feature that we'll be rolling out. And that basically means that staff all we'll need is a patron's library card, and we can go into their Vega portal and place holds and help them with renewals and all that stuff without having to go through our back leap catalog through any other extra steps. We just scan their card and we're in, which is really nice. And then finally, the cafe app. I don't know how many of you, raise your hand if you use our library's cafe app. Lovely. So that contract is up at the end of 2026. So it's gone out for bid by Bridges because they're the ones who manage that. It's currently housed by Capira. They were one of the ones who responded. Vega, who does our discovery layer, was one of the other ones. And then a third company called Communico also applied for the bid. They have a winner for it, and they will be announcing it on Wednesday, Wednesday evening. So tomorrow night, hey, look, today's Tuesday. Tomorrow night they'll be announcing it. So we will find out if we are keeping Capira, which means basically nothing changes, or if we have to do a complete overhaul and retrain patrons on, you have to download this new app and here's how you get it set up and all this stuff. So if that's the case, it means we're getting a bunch of fancy new tools along with it, but it will be a lot of work too.
Does this affect, I normally use the Cafe Library's website.
Yeah,
Is that affected by this?
no,
Okay,
this is strictly the app itself. So if you don't use the app, you won't even know. All right. Yeah. Any questions about anything in the director's report?
oh, I had another question.
Of course.
On the I guess it is kind of the director's report. It's on page 22,
The stats, yeah.
the stats. And I noted that the very first section
Mm-hmm.
is checkouts, and we are going down a lot.
Yes.
And do we know why?
I've been talking, or I haven't been talking. I will be talking tomorrow with Sam and Jane about that. I had noticed that as well. The weird thing is, I can't think of any specific reason. And if you look down to our library visits,
I know
we are up
I
by
have my arrows.
right. So
Yeah.
I noticed the same thing, and I'm going to be talking with them about why they think that might be. Obviously, this past month, I kind of would have made sense for a little bit of a drop because we had the parking lot project. We saw a dip in the meeting room use that last month too. But yeah, the steady decreases since the start of the year. And I need to go back. I also want to go back and see, because we do not have, oh no, we do. I want to get like the percent change from 2025 too. Like, were we seeing a decrease at the end of 2025? Or is this truly a start at the beginning of 2026?
So electronic going up?
Electronics going, electronics going up. Library visits went up. Owning holds shipped went down a little bit, but not a huge amount. And Delafield was closed for a large chunk of April and May, so they ship in a lot of stuff, so that would account for some of it. But yeah, it doesn't necessarily line up with all the other stats we have. So we don't have anything, we didn't have anything going on.
I almost wonder if it's people coming to our library for programs.
Oh, yeah.
But not coming to our library to do their checkouts.
Yep, and that's entirely possible. And again, as we see, we put a lot of money into our library-specific advantage at the end of last year.
Mhm.
And we're seeing this huge boost in overdrive checkouts, and part of it might be that as well. People are able to get those physical books now digitally quicker,
Mhm.
so it might be seeing that transition also a little bit heavier because we did put so much money into that at the end of last year. But yes, I do have it highlighted for discussion tomorrow with Sam and Jane.
Yeah. One thing that will make them go up, I think, is for summer reading program.
Oh, yeah.
There's very specific things that kids are supposed to be checking
Yes.
out.
Yep, and I have that noted too, to watch it for the rest of the summer through August and see if we bounce back, if we're back over previous years, or if we continue to see a downward trend, then yeah, something's going wrong. Yes, that is a very, very good observation.
So how many curbside pickups do we have now, just the one?
We have just one spot, and I spoke with Sam about that today too, because we actually had a patron complaint that we didn't have enough handicap parking, which we did just add 2 more spots with the parking lot renovation. And part of that we think is because there's no actual sign, like standing signage, it's just painted on the asphalt. So if people don't know they're there, they're gonna look, see our regular 4 spots full and then keep going. But one thing we did discuss was, as you'll see here, curbside is just not getting a lot of use, and that's a front row spot that basically is sitting open, unused
Right,
all the time.
right.
So we were discussing today actually getting rid of that spot and letting it just be a regular spot, and maybe moving the curbside sign, not getting rid of the service, but making it true curbside. For the very little use it gets, literally allowing people to just pull up, park at the curb, and we run out and give them their things. So yeah.
Yeah, that might be a good idea.
Yeah.
That does make sense.
Any other questions? All right.
Unfinished business, discussion of the 2026 Library Board President Committee appointments. Oh, that's me. The background is on
Page 23.
page 23, in case you want to reference it, but the only additional appointment I am going to make is I would like to appoint Carrie to the Strategic Planning Committee along with, we listed at this, right? Yes, Woodward and Weed to the Strategic Planning, so that'll be fun for you.
Thank you for accepting.
And Barb, for the first time in forever, is not on the Personnel Committee, so we thank you for your prior service.
And then for the personnel, are you planning on it just being?
Actually, I was gonna appoint myself
Okay.
on because,
That's
I didn't
traditional.
wanna leave the newbie on his own, not that he couldn't
Right. He'll have
do a great job,
6-7 months on
So
it.
I'm also appointing myself to the
Okay.
Personnel Committee, so I will be working with the new trustee Glassmeyer on it.
All right.
When it comes time to do that in December.
We'll be here before we know it.
No. How is it, June 16th already? Okay, moving on to new business. Discussion and action, the 2027-2030 to 2031 five-year capital budget plan, second read. So I think we need a motion to approve the 2027 through 2031 five-year capital budget plan after we discuss it. Can I get a motion to?
I'll move.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Thank you, Carrie. So that is on page
24.
it's
24,
the background's on
25.
24, yeah. Budget itself is on 25.
All right, so we discussed this obviously at the last meeting. This is the second read where you guys will vote. Roof repair in 2027, we left that as is. I can,
Hopefully it makes it.
I know. I know. I am actually, I have Brittany's old presentation and photos that she was ready to give. And then obviously this year we've had multiple leaks and everything. So I am working with staff to gather off of people's personal devices, like, did you take a photo of this? Did you take a video? Like, hand it over. So there will be a presentation ready for that. Condensing units and boiler replacement for 2028, 29, and 30. Those numbers are obviously placeholders. Clayton is working on getting updated placeholder numbers from Jan Brennan, which is our current provider for the services and maintenance of those things. So when you guys vote today, I would ask that you vote with the approval to amend those numbers if new numbers come in before it goes to council. That way I don't necessarily have to try and get it back to you guys, but I'd only change those numbers if Clayton gets me those updated estimates before it had to go to council, which is July 10th. So those ones, again, just placeholders. If they don't get updated, it's not the end of the world. Light poles, you guys opted to move light poles to 2030 and pull in the public restrooms in 2031. So light poles not only moved, but the number actually got updated. Last month it was $137,300. I dug through Brittany's old emails, through the old capital request records and everything, and found what the estimated price increase was gonna be, and that's where the update came from. So that's based on the original estimate and then the original inflation costs, what that would actually kind of look like in 2030, so that's where you'll see the price increase from.
Can we start charging the mice for rent?
Yeah.
Right? Right? They are eating through the wires in the light poles, so. And then next line, security improvements, same thing, so that was already in 2029, but the price doubled. So last month when I gave you that, Barb and I had not yet met with the company that I was getting an estimate from, and almost like the next day we got our estimate, which right now if we did it was, I have it on my screen. 85,500 if we did it this year. And then with inflation estimates, it'll be 101 in 2029. So that's why you see on here it going from 50 to 101. And then Public restrooms, you guys had asked to add that in, which I think is a great idea. Last month, I think it was actually Tracy maybe remembered like a $500,000 estimate. Again, I dug through emails, I dug through old requests and everything, and found an estimate email between Christy Monk and Brittany. Christy was the one who did the design and everything. Taking out the family ADA bathroom, because obviously that got done, and then accounting for price increases. So on the bright side, I thought I was gonna have to put like $600,000 in here, so it's a much nicer number than that. But that is based on pricing estimate increases, what it could be in 2031. And again, this is all just guessing at inflation costs. I put inflation at about 6% every year. Who knows? But that is where
And it's
we
for
are
men's
at.
and women's.
That's for the men's, women's, and I think that one, it wasn't 100% clear in the email, but the pricing was clear. I think that might actually include the staff bathroom as well.
I believe
Yes,
it did.
yep. And I'm actually not opposed to that, because what I would love to do is divide the staff bathroom in half eventually and put a public single ADA accessible bathroom on the flip side in the great room area. Would be my hope eventually, but that covers the staff bathroom as well.
That's nice. Is Timothy gone again?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Yep, we're down to one participant here, which is me. So,
Okay, in our discussion last month about ADA, I
yes,
think someone had said that the library is properly done for that.
we
But
have,
the bathrooms were not.
Correct.
Is that right?
yep, so the family bathroom is our only ADA accessible bathroom.
Okay, and I think you said we're grandfathered in.
Yes.
How long can you be grandfathered in before you have to do something?
Indefinitely, unless you touch something, which I think we've had, at least I think you guys have had this conversation before. If we start wanting to update,
You
the
can't-
countertop.
You can't do the
Yep,
counter. can't
once
do
you
the-
touch one thing, you have to do the whole space.
Wow.
Yep, but indefinitely if you don't touch anything.
How is men's bathroom compared to the ladies?
I have not been in there myself.
Oh, you
But
haven't
the
had to turn
pictures,
up the lights.
that's true. The pictures
not
that
pretty.
I've seen is the counter looks pristine in comparison to the women's restroom. Part of that I've been told is because they used a cleaning solution in the women's restroom at one point. And it immediately took the finish off of it. So they didn't use it on the men's restroom, unfortunately. But yeah, from the pictures, like the walls got redone, I think, by Brittany. So those look obviously better. We don't have the peeling.
But so you were
Stuff.
able to do that, but you can't
Right.
touch fixtures.
Right, it's basically aesthetic only. So you can paint the walls,
Yeah.
but you can't move the counter, you can't
Right.
replace the toilet seats. And, well, I would hope you can replace the toilet seat,
Yeah.
maybe not the whole toilet. But yeah,
So it could be never.
it
Yeah.
could be never, until it literally is falling apart and you have no choice but to have a functioning bathroom, you need to update it kind of thing, yeah.
Right. Oh, those numbers, I believe that those numbers are based on taking the toilets out and putting them back in the same toilet.
Ooh,
So just so
that's
you
good to know. I wouldn't,
think that was-
I'm with Kristen on that one, no, no.
I know,
If we're doing-
if you're gonna do it.
If we're doing a whole
yeah.
bathroom remodel, we'll get new toilets.
Thousands of dollars
Yeah.
from us are good enough, I mean.
I know, if we're getting new
Yeah.
toilets.
Right, but
Yes.
I believe that
energy
was,
efficient.
what
Yeah.
One would
they said
assume.
with that number was that they were gonna just put the same ones back in to save us money,
I did not find that paperwork, but yeah, no.
so,
Yeah, if you're going through all
just to
of
warn
that,
you.
if you're going through all of that and we get that funding, everything would be new. We wouldn't be reusing.
I would hope so,
Yeah. Yeah. Oh geez. That's good to know for
If it
future.
came down to that, I would come to the next common council meeting and be vocal about,
Can we get new
can we
toilets?
please get new
I know,
toilets with the multi-$100,000
Yes.
bathroom upgrade.
Yes.
Like the bathrooms here, they're nice.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
they're beautiful.
They are
Yeah.
beautiful.
It's great, we can hear them.
Yeah, that's a little eye.
Well, I just sort of am embarrassed by the looks of our
Right.
facilities here.
Yeah, and the only thing, and I still haven't gotten a response on this, from state ADA people. But the only thing that I thought of aesthetic wise that we could do is basically reseal the countertops and give them a new sealant and paint, basically. So it's still only aesthetic, but that's thousands of dollars just to
Yeah.
cover up that.
Right.
So is
How
it worth
generous
it?
is Clayton feeling?
He is an artist. I could be like, would you like to paint?
Yeah. Paint a mural on
Paint a mural on our lovely vanity for us. Yes, yeah.
A lot of vanities have like some swirls.
Right.
Yeah,
You know.
or faux marble or something
Yeah.
like that, yeah.
Maybe we could partner with the high school art students. Like, would you like to paint
There
and
you go.
seal our lovely vanity?
Yeah, volunteer opportunity. They
Yes.
need the hours, right?
Right.
Well, so they're starting the new budget, I mean, maybe during the budget process, they'll find ways to cut other things that aren't necessary and do something that's, you know, library.
Well, obviously, this is public restrooms are down the road, but are you talking like resealing the vanity type thing, or?
No, I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
We've been
Yeah.
asking that for
Well,
Many
and,
times.
and that's the thing.
10
It's
years
in here
at least.
somewhere. Yeah, you guys asked by 2031, it'll have been almost a decade since they denied it the first time. So we'll have gotten part of the argument, we'll have gotten another 10 years out of this, and it's going to look that much worse, which is also kind of the reason not to reseal it, because it's like, it's that much worse. But, yeah.
I had a question actually.
Yeah.
In the past, there was talk about building a shed
Yes.
and having the high school students build it for us. And that used to be on this.
Yes.
Are
A
we
couple.
still going after that or not anymore?
A couple things there. One, the information that I received from the high school and from staff is that it fell through on that end,
Okay,
where they just didn't have the interest or the student
okay.
time to do it. And then on the flip side, when I sat down with Scott and Clayton to go over this prior to last month's meeting, he said that would have suggested to pull it anyways, because compared to everything else, that was so low on the totem pole that why have it on here in the first place for it now.
Okay.
But yeah, on the school side, it sounds like it fell through, so, yeah. Yeah. Any other?
Anything else on the capital budget? All right, all those in favor of approving the 2027 capital budget
With
with the
potential,
one except
with potential
with
amendment
the potential
to,
amendment to the condensing unit and or boiler replacement costs if Kelsey gets exact
estimates.
estimates from Clayton in the meantime.
All those in favor?
Say aye.
Aye.
All those against? Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job. All right, next item, the 2027 operating budget review, first read.
All right, so this I felt like was too tiny, so I printed out a nice big one for you guys.
Thank you.
Of course. Alright. So, I watched some of Brittany's previous ones, and my preferred method is to kind of go line by line. Are you guys okay with that? I don't want to hold you hostage if you'd rather I kind of try and summarize everything.
You can go ahead.
Okay. You can tell me to be quiet at any point and be like, I'm done. All right, so let me pull up on the screen too if I can. Nope, I don't know where I put it. So we're just gonna go with this. Okay, no problem. All right. I have so many documents open. I think this is. Yep, okay. Alright, you guys are gonna see a big
Alright.
page number on it, but you have it in front of you too. Okay. So, operating budget. So to start, obviously this is mine and Anne's first year, so this is still very much in progress. We're still going item line by item line and going into those and saying, okay, talking with Clayton and Scott and being like, is Siebert's gonna change their pricing? Should we be accounting for inflation here? Are we gonna get cheaper prices here? So you will see these numbers change by the next meeting, just forewarned. So the blue area, wages and benefits, that one I will summarize because we don't get those numbers until July 24th, which is after our meeting, so city populates all of those. So right now, all of those are set with just an assumed 2.5% COLA increase. Now, I went through and tracked the last 5 years and took average percentage changes over those years. So my assumption is that there's gonna be a higher jump for salaries and wages, FICA, pension, health, based on the last few years. It's gonna be more than 2.5%. But then I also kind of anticipate a decrease in health insurance based on the same thing. And then minimal change for overtime and life. Those have actually stayed very, very steady. So those probably won't change at all. But we won't have those numbers. So next month, as you guys have done in years past, you'll vote and say that those will be amended when we get them from city. All right, print materials, print AV, electronic, and replacements. So you are seeing a decrease for print and AV, and that is mainly based on the historic trend from the past 3 years that you're seeing on this spreadsheet, still with buffer built in. So the past 3 years, we really haven't exceeded $100,000. But I don't necessarily want to cut it down to that because again, inflation is still happening. Books are costing more than they ever have before. So I spoke with Sam, I spoke with our collection managers, and they felt for both AV and print that it was safe to go down to this amount. And then again, for that same reason, you're going to see that drop in audiovisual materials. Now, a couple things there. We have our minimum to exempt that we have to meet, which with the new formula that's going to be going into effect in 2027 is about, what number do we need to match? I have it here. Minimum to exempt is $150,450. With what you're seeing here, even with the bump in electronic, that total is $150,500. So I have kept it to the bare minimum, which means we need to spend every penny. Pros and cons to that, obviously, we're not asking for any more than we absolutely need. Downside is if we do not spend every single penny of those budget lines, we no longer meet our minimums to exempt. So if you guys would like, I can boost that as well. If we did boost it, I would boost it in the electronic line item. Like I said, last year Hoopla went away. We didn't retain any of that funding from Hoopla. So our electronic materials got cut way, way down. And we now have our library specific advantage program, which as we saw from our stats, is really boosting our numbers with digital checkouts. So that's why you'll see the increase in that budget line. And if we decided to give ourselves some breathing room from the minimum to exempt amount, that would be where I would suggest putting it.
Do you ever pay attention to what we have to borrow and what it costs to do that versus, if something's very popular, having our own?
So the way that works is if we have to borrow something versus if we're lending it out, obviously that's part of the formula that was voted on and approved.
Right.
That goes into that. So we do lose money technically, but we're an overall lender library. So we're still making money overall because we're sending out so many books. There is really no way to track down to the dollar amount how much it costs us to borrow versus lend out. Although now that I said that, maybe there is.
That doesn't make sense though,
But,
does it?
yeah, I was just gonna say, maybe there is, I just need the right numbers from Bridges to do it. But yes, you're right, there probably is a way, I would just need the right numbers for it. But the overall, because we're an overall lending library, we're making money, either way.
Right.
So, good question though.
Do you know how much it costs to borrow? Is it the same for each library?
So libraries, yes, yeah, it's
I
the
mean,
same,
if
like the
we-
reimbursement versus it doesn't matter if it's
Books.
Butler or
Okay,
us.
it doesn't matter who you borrow from.
Yep, the reimbursement rate is the same no matter which library is getting or giving. Yep. And then that last line, library replacement, I don't know why it's been hanging around at $300. That is now, it's one of those obsolete budget lines that you guys saw the zeros for before. It's bundled in. Collection managers account for it as part of their overall spending for the year under print and audiovisual, so we're just getting rid of that budget line. Any questions about?
Is that replacing damaged items?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, I think the only thing that line was used for in 2024 was the library replacing for another library. Like we had it on our hold shelf and it walked off.
Hmm.
So there was no patron to pay for it or anything. I think that's the only thing. And again, we can account for that if it does happen in our collection budget, so. Any questions on collection costs? Yes.
It just makes me nervous that if we don't spend every penny, that we could be at risk of losing. We can't afford to lose
Yeah.
any money.
Yep.
I-
So you're okay with me? Okay.
Well, can't you just order a couple more things, so you bring yourself up to
So
the
the
amount?
The concern would be, what would happen like at the end of any given year is with electronics, you have a little more wiggle room now because you can go to the very last day of the year basically and say, okay, here's what we haven't spent. Here's how we're gonna spend it, and it's immediate. We don't have to wait for the physical item to get in the building to count. The downside is when you're that close, obviously the very last day, you might be expecting $1,000 worth of books to come in and they don't. And if that happens right at the end of the day and we only have 2 people on staff who have permissions to do the digital purchasing, if they're both gone, you're out of luck.
Couldn't you do it a week before or something?
But you can't go over your budget.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's why you want that breathing room so that you can you can safely go over your minimum to exempt without going over your actual budget. So I don't disagree. I would like to have breathing room, but I didn't want to assume to build in breathing room.
But won't that bring our amounts down every year then if we do it that way?
If we build in breathing room or
Or don't?
if we don't. So the minimum to exempt amount should increase every year because ideally our community is increasing and it's based on the population of our community. But yeah, if you guys are okay with it, I would prefer to build in breathing room. I just didn't want to assume with it being my first budget season that we should. So we're good with that? Okay.
I agree, I think we should increase that.
Okay. Okay. I'm thinking probably at least $5,000 to give us a safe, without going way overboard. That gives us a safe buffer, I feel like. Are we okay with that? Okay. All right. All right. Any other questions under the materials budget lines? All right. Okay, on to the yellow section. Maintenance of building and grounds. As we know, and as you can see, that budget line generally goes over. I'm actually kind of surprised that we had a year that we were so far under. It's stayed pretty steady at the budgeted amount that it's currently at, which is $49,000. But obviously, we've gone over the past couple years on that. So I have increased it for a few different reasons. Speaking with Clayton, he said that budget line really should increase every year by a couple thousand just due to inflation costs. Because that's everything he's buying to keep our building up and running. Plus the bigger stuff like our lawn care service and our pesticide, or our Safeway pest management, our advanced chemical person who comes in and checks all of that for the building. So obviously their prices are gonna increase. Inflation for the itty bitty materials and bits and bobs is gonna increase. So he suggested overall moving forward to boost it a little bit every year. Then on top of that, we have the building project with the roof. Hopefully that will be happening. With that, I am hoping it doesn't, but there's always possibility when you're messing with a roof that size that other things are gonna happen in the building that are gonna need repairs. And I would also really like, as soon as the roof's done, to replace all the ceiling tile that has stains on it, with the idea that with a new roof, if we have fresh tiles, we will catch right away if we have any new leaks or anything. With the old tiles,
That's a good idea.
right, we won't know. So that's all kind of bundled into that little bit of a price increase that you're seeing. Some other things, if we end up with some extra money out of that, if the roof repair doesn't cause any extra stuff. If we have a good year with the rest of the building and we don't need maintenance. Some other things would be, we also want to add a heater to the family ADA bathrooms. I don't know if you guys remember, we had some pipes freeze in there this winter. And there is no inexpensive way to put one on the sidewall, so it has to be a ceiling mounted. So that's not quite expensive enough to require a capital request, but it's not necessarily something that this year is built into our budget. So this would also help with that if we have the ability. So that is our maintenance of buildings and grounds. Telephone, we kind of already went over with the budget this year, so that's just that increase to account for all 3 phone stipends. Housekeeping supplies, we're keeping steady for the moment. I spoke with staff, I'm not quite sure why it went so high in 2024. Staff in Clayton felt that the 3,000 was still a safe number to continue getting the supplies and materials that we need, so we left it there. Housekeeping. Oh, possibly, yeah, needing extra. Yep, extra cleaning supplies, very true.
Did we switch vendors?
Not for supplies.
Okay.
I don't think so, not for supplies. And then housekeeping services. That increases per our contract. So a couple years ago, city renegotiated, that dropped like $16,000. But then in that contract, there was a built-in couple $1,000s a year increase. On that note, I'm also intending to have a sit-down meeting with our cleaning crew, or with our cleaning company. Anne found the contract. We actually did not have a contract copy of the contract that was signed. And we are not getting a large portion of the services that we are paying for at the moment. So I will be sitting down with them to discuss, because that's a large chunk of our budget is the cleaning service.
I was paying attention to that first couple of pages, now I just want to go back and refresh my memory on the number that I saw.
Yes, it's rather large.
It caught my attention.
So obviously you can't see this very well, but this first chunk here is everything they're supposed to do daily for our entire building. And then the next chunk is stuff that they're supposed to be doing twice a month, basically, and then monthly, and then a couple things that we are contracted to get for free twice a year or yearly. The daily services, I sat down with a large portion of the staff and we went through this line by line because I wanted their opinions. I haven't been there that long on if they felt these things were being done. Out of 13 daily services, only 4 of them are things that we're giving them the clear on, and half of those are only because it's the benefit of the doubt and we haven't, it's like cleaning and sanitizing our fountains and we don't necessarily check that daily.
Right. And I feel less confident that they're doing the things I can't see.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
They're not doing the things I'm supposed to.
Exactly. So what brought this on was actually multiple staff were like, our front door windows were horrible. There are fingerprints everywhere because it's summer and little kids. That's something they're supposed to do daily. It was well over a week. I'm actually not even, I didn't check this morning if it even got done. And then vacuuming our children's story time room definitely doesn't get done daily. It's supposed to.
Is this the Dan Clout's cleaning service?
Yes.
Yeah, that one was the $4,200 expense on page 9 that I
Yep.
saw.
Yeah, that's the monthly fee.
That's the monthly fee. Our annual fee is over $50,000 and it's gonna go up to $52,000 next year.
Do you do the bidding on that, or does the city?
That's a city, it's a city contract. It's every single building. So there's the breakdown of what each department and building pays towards it.
So do they do other things for the city?
Oh, yeah. Yep. So I've looped Scott in on this as well because it's a city contract. I didn't want him being caught out of the blue.
Yeah.
So he'll be involved in that. One of the things Clayton brought up was we are supposed to get our exterior windows cleaned as part of our contract. We actually paid for them to do that at the end of last year. After the parking lot project, we paid them to come and do that. And so yes, I'll be sitting down with them. So that number, again, may change. I don't know with us being in the midst of a contract, if it's gonna be more along the lines of just enforcing like this stuff needs to be happening, or if we can renegotiate and be like, if you're not doing these things, then we're dropping the
Give you
fee.
guys a boost for catching it and.
That, kudos to my staff, and kudos to Ann for digging up the contract, cause you had to go
I
back
had
to
to go
meeting
into old
minutes.
meeting
That's
minutes,
awesome.
Yeah,
from the city, excuse me, packets from like 2024 or something,
yeah, so
cause we didn't have a
team
copy.
effort. So for now, you're seeing that contracted price increase. We'll see what conversation we have with them and go from there. Gas and electric, sewer and water, even with inflation, I am leaving them as is based on previous year trends. It seems to be holding pretty steady, which is impressive to me. I'm not sure if that's because we're a city building or how that works. I will be talking with Scott to verify that. But for right now, I'm leaving it budgeted as it has been. Any questions about the yellow category? All right. And then final green category. Have we still lost? Okay. I just want to make sure Timothy hadn't tried to join back in.
I've been watching.
Thank you. All right, so first up, I'm going to kind of bundle the first three: mileage, conferences and training, dues, and membership. So you're going to see a relatively small increase under mileage and conferences. The goal here with the changes in pricing is I want to get more staff attending local and free educational learning opportunities. So that's why you're going to see mileage go up, not only because gas prices are going up, but also I want to encourage more of them. We have so many free learning opportunities provided by Bridges and SUI, which is the Southeastern Wisconsin Library Association, that they're just not taking them. They're not going. So I want to make sure we have the budget, and I'm going to encourage them to do so. So that's mileage increase. Conferences and training, that I'm increasing a little bit with the goal of, right now, we only send 2 staff to conferences a year, and that's usually WLA. We have, is it 7 or 8 staff now that have master's degrees that are doing programming and all of this stuff. So my goal is to actually send double that, send 4 people a year to conferences. Obviously $200 does not make up for that. So we're going to be doing cost savings in other ways. And I've talked to staff about this and they are on board with it. In the past, people were able to drive separately. People were able to go up the night before if they felt like it, and everyone got their own room. So moving forward, there's going to be carpooling. There's going to be shared rooms, so not shared beds, but you're going to each get your own bed, but you're going to share a room, and you're only getting the nights that the conference is happening for. So if you want to go up the night early, you're paying for that yourself, kind of thing. So we're saving there, and then with this little itty bitty increase, we're going to be able to double the amount of people that get to attend conferences each year. And then that decrease in dues and memberships is 1, to help offset those increases, but then 2, also not only based on historic trend, but going through majority of those previously dues and memberships were for WLA, which is the Wisconsin Library Association, which is wonderful. We should support them. However, I calculated out that was the conference we were always sending people to. I calculated out if you bought your membership and then paid for the membership fees to attend the conference was actually more expensive than if you just attended the conference not as a member. So, right.
That doesn't make any sense.
I know.
No.
It's the only, I checked multiple different library conferences. It's the only one that's set up like that. So we're going a different route. Rather than just blanket any full-time master's degree staff having a WLA membership, 1 person on staff is going to have WLA membership, and 1 person's going to have an ALA membership, and that is to make sure that we have access to all the trainings and everything that they provide throughout the year that we can share amongst staff. And then all other memberships will be related to what conference you're going to, and if it's going to help us save money in the long run to have you have a membership. So we're just going about it a little more smartly, rather than just blanket, oh, you're a full-time staff member with masters, you're going to have a WLA membership.
So, but let's say, like, for example, let's say Emma currently has both,
Mhm.
and she wants to continue to have both. She can probably buy
Oh, yes.
her own.
Yep, all of those are actually, like, your account is with your personal address and your personal phone number, because they know people might change jobs and everything. So yes, staff, it's not like staff can't. If
Okay.
they want to, they are obviously more than welcome to. We're just going to do the funding a different way. So, yep. So right now, for example, this year, Sam has the ALA membership. And we still have multiple staff with the WLA membership because it's still carried over from last year. So right now we have quite a few staff with membership in different locations.
Yeah, I remember being surprised when I knew that Amanda was presenting at
Mhm.
WLA, and then she also has to pay to attend.
Yep. We have, Courtney got selected to present. She was actually scouted and asked to apply to present for her intergenerational story times. This is actually new news to also we found out on Monday. And they selected her. So she'll be attending. And we have it in our budget to send her, but she's like, I asked and they're gonna charge me she's like, I can either go, do my presentation and leave for free, which is driving all the way to Madison to do an hour and a half presentation and leave, or she has to pay to attend. And it's like, we can afford to send you. But yeah, they do not give a break to presenters at all.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
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 I'm curious.
Yeah.
Especially for your master's prepared employees, if there are continuing education credits that they have to keep for certain certifications. And oftentimes, because if so, oftentimes these conferences can fulfill so many of those
Oh, yeah.
CEUs versus if you couldn't send them to the conference, but if you're still having to pay or reimburse that employee for their CEUs, you're gonna get more bang for your buck
Right.
doing it via conference.
Yep.
And all the other the benefits that come with that membership.
100% agree. Oddly enough, I'm the only staff member as a director that is required to do continuing education. All other staff, it is highly encouraged, which is again why we want them to go to conferences. We want them to go to the free trainings. But per their job rules and state statute, they are actually not required to do continuing education.
Wow. So we've got to send you to some.
Right, yes, I have to go, but even then, like, I do the free trainings too. It all adds up. But yeah, as you said, one day of a conference is like 6 to 8 hours of continuing education. Yeah, yep.
I go through that myself,
Yep.
and it's a lot cheaper and a better educational
Yeah.
experience to go to the conference than to sit on a computer looking at your slides
Yeah.
all day for your CE.
Yep.
Right.
And that's why I want to increase people going to things because same way, me personally, if I have to sit through a webinar, I'm not gaining nearly as much as if I go somewhere and sit through a 1 hour lecture or something. I'm gaining so much more in person than I am, especially because my staff are wonderful. But if they're on a webinar, they're also feeling like they need to be working on something else. They don't just sit and absorb. They are multitasking. And then you're also not getting everything out of it. So any questions on those first 3 line items? No? Okay. Library equipment. So again, that one is a relatively small increase. We're just evening it out at 12,000. Part of the reason for that is next year, Barb, who is the head of the IT department, is aiming to do a capital request to get all new printers and copiers for all departments in the city, which means our printing charges, which come out of this line item, might go up. So we're hoping we get the new printers and copiers in all honesty, and we're accounting for that. Even if that's not the case, part of what will be the 2027 action plan based on the strategic plan is to look at expanding the presentation tech in study rooms 1 and 2 or 1 and 4, and also updating presentation technology in meeting room 4. Obviously $800 also will not cover all of that, but it would help maybe update the tech in study rooms versus the meeting room. So either way, whether we get the new printers or not, it would be able to be utilized for improvements to the library building. So that is our library equipment. And then right below that is our computer charges, which comes from Barb and kind of links in. The number you see here is a rough draft number. So she was wonderful and got those together for me for this packet, but she is also still finalizing, talking with vendors, talking with people we have contracts with. So as everything else, these numbers might change. A large portion of that is just inflation costs. Our deep freeze costs are going up. Our backup for what is called Veeam is going up. Our paper cut, which is our printing, is going up. Our staff firewall is going up. It's just all little things that are adding up, unfortunately. Now we are getting a little bit of a price decrease. You don't see it here, but again, with the cafe charges for Udemy going down, we have a little bit of savings happening there. And our public side firewall is actually going to be cheaper next year than it was this year, which is nice. So any questions about computer charges? I know that's a big number on the budget line, so. All right, and then office supplies. Again, I'm just kind of going off of the last 3 years. Last year was an odd one, because obviously the person who would have been doing all the ordering was not here for quite a while between Michelle leaving and Anne starting like mid-November. So I feel like that was just a weird year. So just boosting it a little bit, again, with the thought that inflation costs, that those supplies are gonna be a little bit more expensive than they were the previous year. Next is, I've lost my line. Oh, there you go, processing supplies. That one, same thing. We're just gonna leave it as is. Inflation wise, I spoke with, the person who does the majority of requesting for this is Jane, our CERC supervisor, because CERC does all of the processing and repairs and maintenance of our collection that way. And she feels like that's still a safe number to be at, even with with inflation costs. She said she felt that was okay for now. Next year, we might see that go up though. Library grant obviously is always budgeted at 0 because we're never guaranteed that we're going to get those grants. Friends expenses, that one is taking a dip. We're dropping that by 4,000, mainly because the Friends this year opted to change over. Instead of donating through city, where we buy something with our city credit card and then we do the voucher to city and city reimburses to the Friends got a debit card. So now, instead of using our city card and going through all of that, we just take the Friends debit card and go directly buy the programming supplies or the candy for the outreach event or whatever it is. So we're seeing much less going through city for all of that. It's a lot more direct. The 1,000 is because there are still a few things like the Friends pay for our movie licensing fee. Well, that goes through Bridges, which means their funding has to go through city because Bridges stuff comes through city. So we're still leaving some money there to account for that. But overall, we're gonna see more of that go through their debit card system versus through the city's finances. And they track all of their spending and all the receipts and everything. Do you keep track or do you just hand it all off to
I
Russ?
keep track of all the debit receipts.
Okay.
They also have their own Amazon account that we can access. I don't see that part, but our treasurer for the Friends can see the Amazon expenses, so he can mark that off and, and then when he gets his debit card statement, if anything's missing, he lets me know, but so far we haven't had anything missing. Staff's good about turning in the receipts.
Yeah, and they share all of that at each of their publicly held board meetings every month and all of that, so there's no hiding any money anywhere. It's just changing how the money is flowing, which also kind of helps us too, because the way that line item worked always kind of confused me, because we budgeted 5,000, but we never actually got to use the 5,000. It was basically stagnant money that we couldn't actually utilize. So now we get to move that 4,000 elsewhere and actually use it in our budget actively. And then finally, programming, staying as is. Our Friends obviously pay for over 96% of our programming. So this is just for those odds and ends things where if someone forgot the Friends debit card and just wants to buy it directly with their city card, or if we do have a couple things like the bead kits that you saw for new library card users, that comes out of that budget line, buying those supplies and things like that. So that's staying as is. Any questions about any of that? All right. And then on the flip side, this should go a lot faster. Grant revenue.
Do you want to scroll it down?
Oh, thank you. Okay. Grant revenue is obviously budgeted at 0. Library system, you're seeing it the same as this year as it will be for next year, because Brittany does not have those numbers for us yet. So hopefully by next month's meeting, we'll have an updated number there, and it should go up. I think the last estimate I heard was between $5,000 and $10,000. We should see an increase over this year. So but no guarantees. Lost and damaged, we are upping that a little bit, again, just based on historic trend. We're not going all the way to like 3,000 or even 2,500 because we don't want to assume that we're going to keep having people lose things or damage things. But we did feel it was safe to boost it that little bit and mark it as a little more revenue. Fines we're leaving as is. That seems to be pretty on point year over year. Taxable, same thing, pretty on point, so we're leaving that. Room rental, we're upping a little bit extra. Obviously, the last 2 years have been really great with room rentals, and even this year we're already, it's either $200 or $250 over the anticipated. So we've already met our revenue goal and are surpassing it halfway through the year. So we felt very safe just upping that by $500. And then the Friends revenue obviously is dropping to mirror the change in the operational costs. All right. All right. Any questions on that? And then the only other thing I have is just obviously at the bottom of the big colorful page, there is the overall percent change. Right now, everything's sitting as it is. We're looking at a 2.66% increase over this year's budget. Historically speaking, that's pretty on point for the past 5 years. What's happened with the library budget minus last year, which only went up like 0.6%. But that was a very lucky year with Hoopla and the cleaning company change. So yeah, any questions other than the upping for electronic materials to give us that breathing room for minimum to exempt budget? Any changes that you guys would suggest?
What was the cleaning company change?
That was the contract. So in 2024, they signed a contract and somehow the budget didn't actually change, or no, yeah, that would make sense. So then yeah, for 2026's budget in 2025.
And this is the company we're questioning.
Right, we're gonna be having a chat with, but the original contract brought our price down by $16,000. So originally we were paying $16,000 more a year for cleaning, which you talk to any library, your cleaning is a massive part of your budget because it's a public building and you have hundreds of thousands of people in and out of there every year. So we just want to make sure they're doing everything they're supposed to be. So,
Definitely.
yeah. All right, then that is everything. Thank you. All right, and that's just discussion, so there's no vote or anything, and
Right. So we were saying 5,000 more,
yes,
so that will increase the.
right. In the grand scheme of things, it'll probably only bring it up by like 0.1. It's not gonna make a huge jump in the overall budget, but yes, it
Right.
will increase that number. And
Right.
then I assume with the changes that'll probably happen when city gives us salaries and benefits, it'll go up a little bit more, is my guess. So
We'll have 2 more readings of
one more reading.
one more.
Yep, so we do 2 readings, the first one this month, the second one next month. We meet on July 21st, thank you.
Yes.
And this is due July 27th. So pretty much all the numbers should be final by then, except for salaries and benefits, because I've been told we won't get those until July 24th. So we get those on Friday and the whole budget's due on Monday. So
No pressure.
no pressure at all. And I was gonna take off that day for my birthday, but it's okay.
I have a question.
Yes, of course.
Are we going to have quorum?
That's a great question. That is a great question. Thank you to everyone who RSVP'd. It does make it easier, but yeah, it's always a close call for if we'll have quorum or not. So granted, we should have Tom next time because obviously the council meeting is happening tonight, which is not normal. So we should have him. Gary had a pre-scheduled thing prior to getting appointed to the board, so we should have him. So yeah, fingers crossed. I will obviously keep you guys updated as I get those RSVPs in if we don't have quorum, in which case we would have to reschedule. Just be aware of that if something comes up. Is there anyone on that note actually, is there anyone who knows right now that they can't make next month's? Okay, that's a good sign.
I'm iffy. I have my daughter and her family staying for the month, so
For the month?
yeah.
Oh, wow.
So we haven't planned anything for the days yet, so not sure.
All right, sounds good.
Next month, the meeting's in the chambers too.
Ooh, I hate to miss that.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, next month's in the chambers, and on that note, thank you. Obviously, we're experiencing in here tonight, we'll experience the chambers next month, and then you guys can decide which space you would prefer for the moving forward, basically. But yeah, it should be interesting.
This one already is less desirable because of the toilet flushing. That's not great.
And the noise.
Yeah,
Yes.
well, yeah.
That,
There's quite a bit of
Which I know
traffic.
it's
I-
because
yeah.
they're.
I was just gonna say, yep, usually there shouldn't
We have no
be,
control.
yeah, there shouldn't
And
be
the
anything.
problem with the other room is you really can't see each other. It's like in a horseshoe.
Right.
Right.
You can't, it's not
Yeah.
Conducive.
user-friendly
Yeah.
for this type of.
Aren't there any other rooms?
There's a couple other meeting rooms like this, but that's it.
But are they not right next to the bathrooms? Because that might be.
There's one across the
This,
hall.
this is the only one that has the presentation, or the recording technology in it, though. This and the council chambers are the only two you can record visually.
Would we need visual? I thought we talked about.
We don't have to have visual, no. We have the minutes, which is the only legal obligation, and we have the audio recording, which is an extra step. So yeah, if we try the council chambers and you guys don't like the setup, we could always ask about being in that one, which does not have the bathroom, sharing a wall with it. But then yes, we would not be able to record visually for it. So
Because I don't really like the layout in the council chambers.
it'll
No,
be,
not
it'll be
It's not
interesting.
user-friendly
No.
for what we do.
Well, and we're used to the cozy around the table communication.
Right.
We could bring our own camp chairs.
Yeah.
My previous board did meet in the council chambers, and they just rearranged instead of using the big seats, they
That's a
just
possibility.
rearranged, on the
I
floor.
don't think, nobody comes. We don't need a really, really big space like that.
But yeah, we do have a third option technically. And if we can get the signal and stuff figured out for meeting room 4, next year we can always discuss moving back there too, but that's in process.
Do you guys want to try council chambers next month, or should we see if that room is?
We're already scheduled for council chambers, so we might I would suggest just leaving. Plus, I will say personally, I would love basically the experience of being at the podium with the microphone and everything before I might have to go before the council. So it's a good training experience for me.
When you go for the council, you're standing at the podium, right?
That's where I'm gonna put myself for the meeting next
Oh,
month.
you are?
Yep, I'm gonna put myself there.
You're gonna stand
I
through the
am.
whole thing?
Yep,
Really?
it'll be good.
Short meeting.
It'll be talk, guys, talk fast. But it'll be good practice for me too.
Just approve that budget and then we'll be through it.
Yeah.
Out the door, guys. So
What about Ann? Is she gonna have to stand up there?
she gets to sit up with everybody. She gets to sit up at the seats. by the
I'll
way.
find out when I see it.
Yeah.
All right, any other communications or miscellaneous business as authorized by law? Then can I get a motion to adjourn this June 16th,
I move to adjourn.
2026? Thank you, Carrie.
Second.
Can I get a second? All those in favor of adjourning our meeting, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes. I cannot see the time.
7:02.
7:02.
7:02.